Fucking hell, finally, a win and a performance. What more can you want? Welcome to Talkin Kop. It's me, Chris Brack. I'm here with Kev. I'm here with Ashley. We were given the honour, Kev and Ashley, of playing Real Madrid. We were given the honour of being on the same pitch as them. We were given the honour of having to talk about them and how great they are. And then we showed them they're fucking shite. And basically said to him, get away with 1-0 and fuck off back to Madrid. Honest to God, what a win. How are we anyway? My first show in a couple of weeks, and I nearly injured myself when McAllister scored. We'll come back to that in a minute.
Well, in
Ashley,
fairness,
how are you?
I'm great, honestly. What a performance. What a performance. And you know what? Let's flip all those narratives and say what an honor to come to Anfield. What an honor to come play Liverpool. What an honor to come on our pitch and play against these players who have been through hell and back, have lost a friend, have been through a really tough round of fixtures, and for them to come back and pull out that performance, what an honor for Real Madrid to face us, because that was an outstanding performance all around.
Thank you, Ocean. I think that's one of my better introductions, actually. Kev, do you think Alonso needs to go to the press later and apologise to Real Madrid fans to assure them not to worry? Because apparently that's what our manager was being asked to do by the arrogant pricks. As you can tell, the Madrid press really wound me up, so I've been quite looking forward to us putting this. Just a little bit, yeah.
It was funny enough. I seen a message that Shawnee put into a group earlier on today, and it was a headline from the Spanish press, a paper. He was in the shop, took a picture of the front of, I think it might have been Marca, and it was literally like the comment underneath from Sean is, "Get into these fucking pricks." It was a brilliant performance, start to finish. Defensively, it was a masterclass. Defensively, it was an absolute masterclass, and it was a way to play without the ball, and what you can do and how much you can hurt a side without the ball. And to a man tonight, we were fucking fantastic, and we needed to be. You know, that make no mistake, this is a banging form Madrid side that's as strong as they can be. That's as good a side as they're going to put out this season, and they're in flying form. And we were hands down the better side, deserved a lot more than 1-0. And Thibaut Courtois is the man of the match, without a doubt. He is
so annoyingly good. He's so annoyingly good, isn't he?
Do you know what? I think it boiled his piss for years that Alisson was recognised as the best goalkeeper in the world. And he as much as said it a few years ago. Yeah. Because every time he comes up against us, he is unbelievable. That could have been 5 tonight. It really, on another night with another keeper, that could have been 5. And it wouldn't have been out of the way of being 5.
That's probably the best I've seen from Real Madrid goalkeeper since when we beat them 4-0 with goal. And if you haven't seen it, watch sides. I know Liverpool won 4-0. Casillas makes 6 or 7 ridiculous saves. And Casillas was a ridiculous goalkeeper as well. Actually, we will do some serious chatting in a bit, but while I'm on my bandwagon, how nice is it to be a bunch of petulant little wankers that they are? Honest to God. Vinicius Jr. get in the bin. How he stayed on the pitch, I'll never know. Bellingham, I love the fact he did a petulant foul because he couldn't be arsed running back, and that cost him the goal. Just a big bunch of crybabies. They are very much, how dare you come near us? It's funny, isn't it?
I mean, it's great when it kind of pays off in the end, when the people that act that way kind of get what they deserve. I mean, I think Conor Bradley, out of everyone, just put that entire team in their place. There were a few players, like Robertson went in early, kind of made sure that, I think it was it Chouameni or was it Camavinga? Put him in his place right away. And then Conor Bradley, just time after time after time, just makes me smile the way that he rises to the occasion. If it wasn't Mbappe, it was Vinicius this time. It didn't matter. He absolutely had him on toast. And there must be at least 3 or 4 different tackles, where we can freeze frame Conor Bradley, just absolutely shredding them to pieces. And it just was the most enjoyable thing to watch. The hunger and the desire and that grittiness that we've missed in the team for so many weeks. it was all encompassed in this performance. And it wasn't just him alone, but he was the one that was sort of like the torchbearer. And it was just fantastic.
I suppose, Kev, we'll go through the lineup. It's also, I mean, you, mate, I think I said to you in the WhatsApp group during the Villa win, it's amazing how different a team looks when it's confident. But it's also amazing how different a team looks when the lineup's a bit more consistent. I think we've probably chopped and changed too much this season. Some of that has been forced because of players not being available and things like that. But I think now sort of maybe found a way with the newer players is perhaps the newer players should need to be allowed to bed in a bit later, as in drip feed them in, put one or two in, and keep the lads who won you the league in a bit more. And maybe when we get to the end of the season, a lot of the lads who we've bought end up being the regular stars, and the lads who won you the league this year end up being phased out. Hindsight's 2020, but maybe in hindsight you look at it going, possibly maybe we just tried to change too much too quick. But listen, the lineup today, I don't think anyone could complain really. I think Wirtz in for Gakpo, which we all kind of thought maybe that's why Wirtz wasn't playing against Villa. Other than that, there's no one else you'd really think he'd rotate.
Yeah, I thought he would rotate Robertson because it's 3 games in a week, and I thought that he would miss out tonight and get City at the weekend. But the fact that there's a 4-day turnaround to City is going to stand to him. Andy Robertson tonight was like Andy Robertson of old, and tactically, the fact that Florian Wirtz played listed as a left wing, defended as a left mid, but that was about as much of the left wing as Florian Wirtz saw. The rest of the night, he was drifting in. And the first note that I took tonight, I think was at 9 minutes, he closed down their fullback, won the ball back on the right wing, gave it into McAllister for a shot that went wide. But that's where he was. He was in and around the mix, in and around the action all the time, allowing Robertson the freedom of the left wing to go when the time was right. And he picked and chose when he went, and it was really, really well worked. And I thought the two of them on the left wing were really good. On the flip side, everything came down our right-hand side. All Madrid's attacks came through Vinicius. So that kind of allowed our left side to be the outball, to be and we tried it a few times with the switch of play out to the wing as a release valve. I thought defense that worked really well. Wasn't a surprise that Florian Wirtz came in. He's played, I think, every single Champions League game. Cody can't play every week or every game. You have to manage him as well as everybody else when it comes to minutes. And Florian Wirtz tonight was probably one of his best games without having a goal or an assist in it. I think he did everything else really well.
If it wasn't for that Belgium goal, he probably would have had at least one assist. We'll come to that. It wasn't for the want of trying. Let's be honest.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. He was really, really good. Really good.
I think that, to be fair to Wirtz, that's probably the fine margin thing Slot talks about, saying like, that cross 9 times out of 10, that's a goal. But credit to Courtois for that save is he does what Alisson's really good at is he makes decisions to charge quick and make himself big. So he makes the angle really small so that he has a chance of getting something. Most of the keepers probably don't come out that quick. So we'll have to see. Apparently, we really after this have to go on to see Virgil van Dijk's interview because apparently he stood next to Wayne Rooney and apparently it's quite good fun. So
yeah, I'm waiting for some more quotes. The only quote that I have right now is when asked if he saw Trent before the game or if he plans to, he says no, and that's it. So hopefully there's more to the interview than that.
Yeah. I just think we'll come to Mr. Trent. He got what he expected really.
We'll chat about that later.
I couldn't care less, to be honest, about Trent or anyone else like that, to be honest.
No. Yeah, well, I think he knows where he stands now. If he didn't know beforehand, and his representatives know that by how players have talked about him. Yeah. So burn your bridges. That's kind of what happens.
Genuinely, honest to God, who gives a flying fuck? Yeah. We just beat Real Madrid 1-0 with the most dominant performance I've seen us have in Europe against the top side in a long time.
But to be fair, for the first 15-20 minutes, you will probably say they had more of the ball, and Liverpool had to be disciplined, pick the most. I know friends of mine were saying, like, we can't get a hold of the ball, we need to touch it, we need to get a touch on it. And like, this is what Madrid do. This is where you have to sort of like take your medicine and sort of like, just keep shape, don't give them any easy chances, and then wait for your moment. And you realise, actually, and this is the benefit of having a fit Conor Bradley, is they don't like transition at all. I mean, the booking of Vinicius Jr. actually was, that's, to be honest, I think everyone expected roles reversed. That's what you'd see.
Yeah.
Vinicius Jr. doesn't want to defend, really. And you could just tell he couldn't be arsed, and then seems shocked when it was a yellow. I think that yellow card knackered his game, because then he couldn't try any of his shenanigans that he normally tries in the pitch, because he was one bucket away from going off.
There's that, but the other side of it is, because the ball was always down that side, I was watching Alonso, watching Vinicius and Bradley, and the frustration was building and building because he wouldn't press, he wouldn't track back, and when he did, he can't do it. It's not in his DNA. It's not in his game. So the second he got booked, you saw it in the second half when Bradley went around him and then went in front of him, almost begging him to tackle him, and he couldn't. And it was clever by Bradley. But look, Conor Bradley tonight, fucking outstanding, absolutely fucking outstanding. He must be sat in the dressing room now thinking, like, can we play Madrid every week? Because this lot are just fucking easy.
But you know what? He had the opportunity in this game to kind of plant his mark. We've seen Conor Bradley in the past, and we know that he has this performance in him. But leading up to this, the press was all like, "Oh, well, like, is Real Madrid going to show them what they're missing with Trent and blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
Conor Bradley decided, you know what? Fuck that narrative. Like, I will show them that we are not missing Trent, that I can step into those shoes, and they are.
Oh, it was going to be a great point, that.
What just happened?
Okay, Ashley, you were just about to solve world peace.
I was going to solve world peace. I was just saying,
instead of that.
Yeah, I was, well, kind of.
I think Trent's got all the your wife. I go, no, don't talk about me anymore. Don't talk about me anymore.
no hablo, whatever. Sorry, I have no idea how to speak Spanish, so apologies to any Spanish-speaking listeners out there. What I was going to say is this was Conor Bradley's chance to kind of screw the media, all the people that were saying, is Real Madrid going to show them, what they lost with Trent, and is Trent going to show up and blah, 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 blah. And Conor Bradley decided, I'm going to fill the shoes. And they are big shoes to fill. That's where I got cut off. They're really, really big shoes to fill. And he's not a like-for-like player. He doesn't play like that every single week, and we can't really expect that from him. But he seized this opportunity. And he seems like one of those players that rises to the occasion. And this is not, this is now 2 times where you see him truly rise to that occasion. You're not going to see anyone play against Vinicius Jr. better than Conor Bradley did today. You're not. Like, that was an absolute perfect performance from him. And it was like right on the edge. It could have gone the other way, but I don't even think he got a yellow card. For Conor Bradley to not get a yellow card against one of the best wingers in the world.
And he's one yellow away from suspension as well.
Yeah. I mean, he really was brilliant. So, yeah, flowers were, like, credit where credit is due.
Okay. Let's talk about the penalty, because obviously I've got friends in WhatsApp groups who are saying we can't work out how it goes from being not a penalty to a free kick to the goalkeeper. So let's talk it through. And full disclosure, when we saw it, we went, oh, okay, free kick. And we all went, oh, that looks inside. I could, hand on heart, when I saw it, I went, oh, I don't like those. That's a penalty. You've got to be like, oh, I hate those penalties, because despite what Mark Clattenburg does, he doesn't make himself bigger. He actually keeps his hands to the side. I'm not really sure where his hands can go. So I thought he was unlucky that he was going to get a free kick given against him. And then when they saw it was in the box, I thought, it's one of them in Europe. They'll just give it, because that sort of handball's always given you. You never get that in the Prem. And then all of a sudden it was like, it's no penalty, which I think is, if I'm honest, I think it's probably fair, because I don't think it's a pen. And if it was given against us, I'd be fuming. And Ashley, you're the brains of the operation. The only bit I couldn't quite get my head around is, how's it go from being a free kick outside the box, which what the ref saw, to checking if it's a penalty, to no penalty, to goal, to free kick, to the bit I couldn't get my around is, why did Madrid cut the ball? Because I'm like,
no, it's really confusing. I can't actually answer why. I mean, the very last part is tricky to answer. But what happened is, because it was called outside of the box, the referee calls it as a handball. You think, okay, if it's outside of the box, then VAR can't get involved.
Yeah.
You have to go with referee's call, which was handball. Once they decide, okay, we're going to review it for inside the box or outside of the box, that becomes one of those factual things, just like the Virgil penalty call the other day, which we all hated. Once they then determine it's inside of the box, it then almost goes for a secondary review where it's like, is it a penalty or not? So they basically can reassess the handball because it's a penalty situation. So it's like a red card where they can reassess whether or not it's a red card because that's where VAR can get involved. So they reassess, they determine that his arm is down by his side. It's in. It doesn't take a deflection off of his thigh, which they were sort of, debating. I think the question really becomes, is this a handball in the Champions League or not? Some of the handballs that we've seen go against teams have been really, really, really soft.
If you haven't seen it, look at the Arsenal one tonight.
That one, the hand was lifted in that one, so I do understand, but it was literally just like his hands were by his body, so it was ridiculous. But yeah, I think the protocol there that kicked in was once it's being reviewed for a penalty, they can then review the handball incident again. And the referee basically acknowledged his call of handball outside of the box wasn't really accurate upon second viewing. As AIDO LFC, I'm not even going to pronounce your name properly. It says clear as dirty mud. Ashley, it's correct. It's clear as dirty mud. Yeah. It's definitely a convoluted process.
Kev, we both said we didn't think it was a penalty. So
yeah,
I'm not going to assist now if we say 0-0 and said, we didn't get a penalty. Well, I don't think it was. I think the frustration is in Europe. That sort of thing is given a penalty. Well, the bit where you think it's a bit hard, where I think as a Liverpool fan it feels harsh, is we get given a free kick in a dangerous area. It then gets reviewed to see if it's a penalty or not, and we end up losing the ball
without the free kick.
Yeah, we end up losing the ball. Going like, well, hang on, we've basically been disadvantaged. It's almost like you've had all advantages took away from you.
Oshie makes the point here that apparently if a call is reversed in the penalty area for the defensive team, get a drop ball no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they've gone away from the contested drop balls, so I think this is their way of kind of handling that situation, where it's just kind of like their default.
Yeah.
I think I'd much prefer in that situation like that one where they said, like, it's no penalty, I'd prefer a contested drop ball.
Yeah.
They just don't do that anymore.
What I think happened is he thought that it hit his right hand. When he was shown the video and it hit his left hand, bar chopping off his left arm is in a natural position. He can't put it anywhere else.
Yeah. Mark Clattenburg was trying to create controversy saying on my feed, saying like, he's made himself bigger, he knows what he's doing. I was like, well, he knows what he's doing, like he's throwing his body, but it's like, his arms have got nowhere else to go. And it's not like he did the John Terry Starfish. If he'd done the John Terry Starfish, you'd have gone, you're fucking no chance. And it would have been, to be fair, he sort of makes his arms as small as he possibly can. As you said, short of chopping them off or doing an Albi Moreno, which is diving with your hands behind your back, which, to be honest, isn't a good idea because you probably break your shoulder.
Exactly. Look, I mean, you guys can confirm it. I said it to you straight away.
I don't want that given against us. Therefore, I don't necessarily want it for us either.
I think you have to look at it. Well, the way I look at it is it's a backwards process that got the right answer in the end. Because once they decide that it's in the box, VAR can look at it. And people can say, and you hear it all the time, they're re-reffing the game. That's kind of what VAR is. Yeah. It's been that's been re-reffing. They've been re-reffing the games for the last 5 years. Hate to break it to them,
it'd be really interesting to see how that would have gone in the Premier League, how that process would have gone in the Premier League.
I don't know. I mean, we're bound to see it, and we're bound to see it.
I don't think the Premier League that's even given as a handball.
Probably not. But
I don't think I doubt a ref would give it, and I don't think VAR would ever say, "Oh, that's a definite handball." I think if it was, I think we'd all be going, "That's a bollocks red card. That's a bollocks, not a red card. That's a bollocks handball." But Taurus, when we got to half time, it was 0-0. It was 0-0, and all we sat there going is, Ash was can Courtois just fuck off now? Because all he kept doing was saving Soboslai shots. It was really annoying. It was just really annoying.
Yeah.
Shout out though to Mamardashvili, who is coming to some criticism for his performances against United and Brentford, from what I've seen. But I thought his save against Bellingham right at half time was really good, because to be honest, give the devil his due. Bellingham, that body shimmer he does when he fakes to shoot, kills Canate dead. No centre back then can touch him. And he just tries to slam it in bottom corner. He gets a good foot to it. It's a really good save by Mamardashvili. He's now got back-to-back clean sheets, which is also good for him.
Yeah, there's a quote in there from Virgil right now on keeping the. What the hell is happening? I don't understand. My internet is just absolutely having a mare over here.
I've got it.
Okay, well, I'll read it out anyways. It says, on keeping a clean sheet, he says, you can see at the moment Arsenal are flying, and it's down to the clean sheets and not conceding chances. We have the quality to hurt anyone on the break. It starts with the defending. Today you saw the hard work. We have to keep going. Sunday is going to be another difficult one. We all know how football works. It can change overnight. But, at least they're acknowledging the fact that that's where it starts. I mean, we've said time and time again this season, we've looked porous. We've looked like Swiss cheese. We're leaving the defenders exposed. I think what you saw today is defenders doing their job, but also midfielders sprinting back to help those defenders. You saw Gravenberch, doing 2-on-1s with Bradley there to just really help him up all through the game. Like, I don't think Conor Bradley would have looked half as good if it weren't for Gravenberch. So again, give him his flowers there. You saw players like Robertson lose the ball and then immediately sprint back and get that ball back, rectifying his mistake. It just, time and time again, you saw the players really fighting and nobody gave up. No one thought there was a lost cause. Everyone decided, if we lose the ball at halfway, we're all sprinting back and we're all going to make sure that, our goal is our fortress that we're going to defend with our lives. And I don't know, that's what we've been missing. To see that, it was such a noticeable difference. We saw kind of the shoots of it over the weekend, but today we really saw it. It felt like, I don't know for you guys if it felt the same way, but for me, it felt like we have our team back. Like, it felt like we have our team back. I felt like I was watching our Liverpool again.
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, I love the balance of it. I love the balance in the midfield. The doubling up in Vinicius Jr. with Gravenberch. Look, all the danger was on the right-hand side. So Gravenberch can literally pin himself in between Canate and Bradley to kind of... Because one thing Madrid will do quite a lot is Mbappe will drift out to that side with Bellingham and they'll look to link up and cause triangles around the fullback. When Gravenberch is standing there and Canate as well, that makes that really, really difficult. And then you've got McAllister shifting over as well. And defensively, we were just so on point. And I think you have to admit it's vindicating the decision on the League Cup last weekend.
I was thinking that as well.
Yeah, they have to have been working on defensive shape over that week to make sure that they were drilled in how to play against these sides who are going to be possession-based, but with quality. And City are going to be no different. They're possession-based with quality, looking to attack in a certain way and looking to feed players in a certain way. With City, it's going to be Haaland. With Madrid, it's always Vinicius. They very rarely, if ever, go down their own right, especially with Valverde playing as a right-back. And it kind of makes the pitch narrower or smaller, which suits us. That kind of game suits us because it allows us, when we win it back, to get on the transition really, really quickly. So, I mean, I was really comfortable at halftime. Yeah, the chance that Bellingham had was a good save. I don't think Canate can do much. It wasn't
a criticism. It was actually... Go on, sorry.
Yeah, he puts his leg back to block the shot from Bellingham going to the far post. Bellingham reads it, goes near post, and Mamardashvili's in the perfect spot to close it out. So, all in all, they handled that really well. And that was probably their most dangerous attack in the whole game. I expected a lot more from Madrid in the second half, but we came out in the second half and for 15 minutes we absolutely blitzed them. The set pieces that we created in that first 5 minutes.
Well, for set pieces, let's go to our expert. I'm not being funny, Ashley. I feel like you and me have heard this. Sorry, Kev. This definitely, I think Ashley's heard this one.
100%.
I mean, it all started at 46 minutes, and there were 3 in a row. It was just bang, bang, bang. And I mean, I think I sent a text to you guys. I'm just like, for fuck's sake, like, will Courtois just fuck off? Honestly, will he just fuck off? Because like, these saves that he was making, the first half, some of the ones from Szoboszlai that were long range, you're like, oh, you expect him to do that. He's a really tall guy. I think he's 6'6". These ones, he was just positionally brilliant. Some of it, he didn't even know anything about it, but the way he just spread himself, I mean, Virgil connects with the very first corner so purely. Like, it would be a goal to anyone else. And you know, like, Courtois has a masterclass against us almost every time he comes to Anfield. So, yeah, that happened. Then you have Ekitike that gets in there. There's fingertips over the bar. I don't know if that was actually going in or not. That was a little more routine. And then you had another Ekitike shot wide right after that. And it was one of those moments where you're like, is it ever going to happen? Is it ever going to go in? Or is it just going to be one of those days where you leave feeling like Courtois is the one that holds them in it? And like, this could have been 3-0 quite easily if it weren't for Courtois. I think any other keeper in the world, it would have been 3-0. And that's against this Madrid team. That's a statement. I know it says the score is 1-0, but in terms of statements, like without Courtois, that was an outstanding performance. Sorry. It happens occasionally. I'm just excited. We've been so poor. Piss poor recently, and it's all just kind of coming up to the surface.
Emmett, you should see the WhatsApps. This is nothing.
Oh no, Emmett has met me in person. He knows that this comes out every once in a while.
yeah. But so Kev, we were just like going like, is this? We didn't want to say it, but we're all going like, oh, this could be 2022 all over again.
It was going through my head.
Where you smashed the Courtois man of the match and you lose 1-0.
Yeah.
And then McAllister gets a team yellow card, and you're going like, oh, these scropey bastards are going to get a red, aren't they? You just know it's going to fall for you because you're like, it doesn't. And then Liverpool burst forward. I can't remember Szoboszlai or Gravenberch burst forward, and it's a lazy foul by Bellingham.
It was on Szoboszlai. I think Szoboszlai got the other side of him, and it was a lazy tackle. It was on
Gravenberch, wasn't it?
Was it?
It was Gravenberch. Szoboszlai took the free kick.
Yeah, you're right. It was on Gravenberch.
It was like a little bit of a scissoring action.
Yeah.
It was interesting because I threw into the chat, Chris, Diaz got sent off today. If you didn't see it, he got sent off in the Bayern game. I think he got 2 goals and then got sent off. It was a really poor decision, in my opinion, for a red card.
I think it's a red.
You do? Okay. Well, let's just take it as it is. We'll look at it at
ref watch. My gut feeling was it looks a red. So
this was not far off. Like, I'm not saying this was a red, but it was a lazy and it was a reckless tackle, and it was one of those tackles that I don't know. I feel like Bellingham has that it in him.
The reason I don't think it's as bad as the Diaz one is he doesn't do a full scissor, and there is contact, but it's not high. Whereas when the angle I've seen of the Diaz one is, it comes high down as scissor action, and he folds Hakimi's ankle. I mean, Hakimi goes off. Hakimi doesn't even get up after the foul. So I thought yellow, fine. I thought he just looked typical how Bellingham we've seen since he's been at Rudo, quite petulant. And I think I messaged you guys saying, can one of these just go in? And when you need a goal, you get to go from your 5'5" centre mid, don't you, Kev? Because but who knew he loves a headed goal? He loves a goal against Madrid.
The beauty about this goal, if you remember back to the Villa game, the cross from Szoboszlai for Hugo, the one that was offside,
it's undefendable.
This free kick was as good. It was all McAllister had to do was get his head on it. The power was on the ball. The power was on the free kick. The accuracy was on the free kick, and he had a couple of sighters with wider free kicks, and he had the shot earlier on from the free kick to force a save. This one, it was brilliantly whipped. And it was on his head. All he had to do was get it on target, and he burst it through Courtois, right through his hands, and he couldn't react. That's how fast it was. He couldn't react to it. And bear in mind, a few minutes in the previous attack was the Virgil header.
Mm.
You know, so, and that was only from about 3 yards, straight at him, and he reacted and saved it. McAllister's header was bullet straight through him, above his head. Couldn't do nothing about it. And it was so thoroughly deserved. So thoroughly deserved that the fear is there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. But
just take it one step at a time, though.
It was, at the time, it was a brilliant goal, a deserved goal for all of the work that we did in the 10 minutes before halftime and the 15 minutes after halftime. That period of the game, I thought we were dominant. And when the goal went in, we still had chances and counters and what have you. But I thought after the corners. Do you remember that period after the corners? And they got on the attack. This is before the goal. We had a string of corners. They got on the attack, and what impressed me more than anything, you'll have seen some players before when you have that period of dominance and you've thrown the kitchen sink at them, the heads drop, and someone switches off, and you concede. How many times have you seen it with a side out of nothing get a goal after they've been completely dominant, you know, and you get sucker punched? We didn't. We were so switched on defensively that we got back up the pitch and then we scored. I was so fucking impressed with how we were off the ball tonight. I can't tell you. It's night and day different, the discipline in our defending and our shape from what we've seen at any other point this season. I mean, the Villa game I was impressed with, but tonight, and I think maybe it's because of the fear in the fact that you're playing against a side in fabulous form who are odds on going to be in and around the final four of this competition come the end of the season. That fear and that adrenaline forces you to switch on defensively, and I think to a man we were fucking outrageously good.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, let's talk about the last half an hour, which, full disclosure, I actually thought Liverpool were pretty controlled, bar one chance, which I think I text Ashley and Kev, said I feel sick because I generally thought they'd scored.
I was just like pacing around at this point, like just creating a hole in my carpet.
But outside of that chance, which was, it's good, but it's a bit of a chance out of nothing. You know, it's a brilliant instinctive half volley by Mbappe. Can't take it.
Yeah, but it was always spinning away, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was always spinning away.
I mean, just for a little bit of context there, only 2 teams have stopped him from scoring this season. So for him to not, he's in form. Like, for him to not score today, it's not a fluke. It's not because he's out of form. Like, this was a big deal. I expected that to go in. When he hit it, because he hits it so pure and he gets that curl on it, I was like, oh shit, like really? Like that's how we're gonna kind of equal the game. And to see it go wide, like, I don't know. I mean, it's been a good week in terms of Lady Luck. I don't want to jinx anything, but I think
this is where this isn't the reason we lost 4 in a row, but I think it's a factor. Is as much as people kept saying Slot's making excuses about fine margins, they're the things that sometimes don't go for you. Villa hitting the post in the first 10 minutes. When your look's in, it hits the post. When your look's not in, it's posting in. You know, if it had been 3 weeks ago, that Mbappe one goes in top corner. And we're also thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go again. So you do need that little bit of luck. But like, as Kev said earlier, Mamardashvili had two shots on target against him all game. And one of them was a routine catch.
Yeah, I mean, there was only one meaningful save, really, which was the Bellingham one, which was down low. I mean, he saved it well with his feet, but still, it's a save you expect him to make. Like, he wasn't worked in a way. I think, not
the way Courtois was worked.
Well, no. Certainly not. And they have a history against Mamardashvili. I think he let in like 7 against them last season, something around that. So it's not like he's been kind of having these glowing performances against them.
I think he's also saved a penalty against them as well.
He did. Yeah. So, but I mean, he also was playing for, a team that wasn't necessarily creating that defensive wall in front of him. But I think he had a really good game. I mean, I was looking back actually at the last year's lineup, and I forgot that Kelleher was in net for this game last year.
He saved the penalty for it as well.
He saved the penalty, yeah.
You know, and it was you had the Mbappe penalty miss, you had the Mo penalty miss, but you know, to have a second choice goalkeeper step up and perform in games like this is as big as it gets at this stage of the season. And it's exactly what you want. You know, we thought we would be maybe in a bad place when we lost Kelleher. I think he's done a really good. I think Rambadashvili has done a really good job stepping up and playing pretty much an equal role to Kelleher so far.
Yeah, I think he's been good.
I think it's only took 5 games for us to realise he's left-footed, though.
I know, but that's not our fault. That's the player's fault.
I think that's the one thing the players has took. It seems to have taken 5 games to realise he's left-footed. Stop kicking it to his right.
They've definitely improved, though. It's getting better.
And then talk about subs that came on. Jones came on from McAllister. It's good to see Jones back. This is the sort of game I think that would suit him when you're 1-0 up to someone to keep hold of the ball. Maka back-to-back good performances. Gakpo came on. Interestingly, went through the middle and they kept Wirtz left for a while, which is interesting. Ekitike, I actually thought grew into the game. You know, he's still got the flicks. He's got tricks. He definitely can improve his hold-up play, but that side of it, he's coming. He's only 22. But to lead the line against Real Madrid, you know, and what I thought he did really well is when Wirtz did go central, if we lost the ball, he naturally went left mid. He also filled in when needed to, and then attacked down the left. And there was the one bit I liked about it was when he got the ball and he was about to play an instinctive pass down the left wing and went, that's not on. And he kept all the kettle there. I'll get the free kick. And then I'll move up again. I went, that's a bit smarter. That's the sort of thing, they're not saying player before people click this and think I'm saying it, but that's what Dromper was very good at in his peak for Chelsea, which was if they had a 1-0 lead, he knew when to hold the ball and go when to get a free. And they go, right, there you go. There's your free kick on the halfway line. I'm going to go back up the pitch now. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing I think he can learn from those sort of players. He's actually good at that.
There was a couple of times in the first half, especially, where he was making a run from the left half of the penalty box, across the penalty box, across the 2 centre backs, looking for Bradley to play that ball into him on the ground. And he took it on the turn. And he did that a couple of times, and it was a really good outlet ball for us. I thought overall he was good. His hold-up play was good. He had the one chance with his header off those group of corners, but I thought it was an honest performance from him. You know, it was a massive night for him, a big test for him, but I thought he stood up to it really well. I think they all did, to be fair, and defensively as well. He was fine. There was one chance with Cody, though, at the end, where he had Salah put a cross in, and Courtois made another brilliant save. Salah gets the rebound, and he has a shot, and they block it again. And that was on 87 minutes. And I sat there thinking, 5 minutes injury time. They'll work one fucking chance. They'll do something. And credit to us, I thought we managed that period so well, where we won free kicks when we could, we delayed them when we could, we boxed clever. We saw that game out proper professional. You know, overall, I fucking lost for words with how good I think we were tonight. Really, really fucking delighted with that. And
I mean, we're literally one result away from this being the absolute perfect week after the shit storm of the previous.
But it's more so the performances than anything else. The results will come. It was more important to get the performances right after the decision was made with the Carabao Cup. That we say it until we're blue in the face. If we see performances on the pitch, the results are there. We'll get results. But at the minute, if the players start putting in performances like that week in, week out, we'll be in and around it in May. You know, but you have to be putting in performances like that week in, week out. And it's going to be difficult. We're going to have many different tests between now and the end of the season, different styles of play to deal with and what have you. But the confidence that players like McAllister can take out of the last 2 games is huge. He's been immense in the last 2 games. And he needed these. He really needed these performances. You know, and you start seeing him back to his best, and it's no coincidence. Someone said it earlier in the chat. You start seeing the best of Alexis McAllister on the pitch, we're going to be really, really good because he's key to how we play, be it tempo setting, be it aggression, discipline in midfield, winning balls back, being solid. Everything stems off the central midfield partnership. That stays stable, and we're in a good spot.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Right, so the other sub that came out, Chiesa came on. I've just sent it to you guys in the chat. Don't know if you missed the game, where in the last couple of minutes he took the piss by flicking it over someone's head. and then Chiesa did what Chiesa does to the middle, which is neat, tidy, links play, and wins frees where you need him to.
Yeah.
And I think this is why he doesn't start. I think with his maturity and his experience, and probably his lack of physicality, this is why he's perfect for last 10s, last 20s, last 15s, which is his trickiness, his pace can cause problems. And his cleverness. I mean, you talk about the Gakpo on 88. That's literally inches from being the perfect ball to him being through on goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was perfect. I think the challenge Ash will see is, look, City at the weekend is its own challenge. City's always a unique challenge. Not everyone plays like City. City can do the pass around the back stuff like Madrid do, but they have got that long ball over the top because they have that robot up front who just doesn't miss. Let's be fair. Haaland just, he's an animal, absolute, different level striker. I think the challenge of this team will be post-international break, which I think will come at a good time. I think it will allow us to regroup. On paper, the fixtures are kinder, but on paper, we're going to play a lot of teams that are going to do more of the Brentford style and more direct style. And I think that's the one thing we still want to see from this side is, right, now we've seen a performance. Can we see this performance against the Forest, who aren't going to pass it around the back, are going to do more the Brentford style? And that seems to have been a bit of an Achilles heel so far this year. So I suppose that's a nice problem for us to have post-disaster. Hopefully, we get a positive result against City.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Like I said earlier, we've been shit for a little while, so I'm just going to kind of live in this bubble of good performance for a little bit longer before I start thinking about, what happens when we play Forest. You're absolutely right. It's a very valid point. But I need a little bit more of this kind of red-tinted glasses Liverpool just to fill my cup, because it's felt like a while. Like it has felt like a while, and I just don't want to gloss over the fact that this was such a good fucking performance. Like, I want to talk about the players. I want to talk about which players really impressed us. I want to talk about the fact that there really isn't could do better. But we can discuss that. But yeah, I want to sit in this moment for a little bit longer, because this is a performance that I think a lot of people, and maybe it was just false media narrative that we all kind of got caught up in, but even with the eye test, it did look like things were sort of slipping away for a little while. It felt like that Slot had sort of lost the plot, that he was using players incorrectly. And, there is a certain reverting back to type, reverting to last year's plan. But I think we saw little hints of maybe what he can do with players today it was just very encouraging. To see Wirtz linking up with Mo Salah, it was a little bit reminiscent of our preseason, where we saw Wirtz right at the beginning when him and Szoboszlai and Mo Salah were creating little triangles, and we never saw that again. And to see that happen again was exciting. To see again that step up from Conor Bradley and having Robertson on that other side, I want to give them a little bit more credit before we start diving back into the worry train that we tend to do. Because we can talk about that later, I promise.
Speaking of positivity, Michael Reed's latest stat update: 5 chances created from Florian Wirtz tonight, more than any player in the match. That is now 16 chances created in his first 4 Champions League games for Liverpool. This is the most by any Liverpool player has created over a run of 4 games in the Champions League, according to Opta records. So
yeah, it's going to come for him eventually. These chances are going to start getting converted, and we're going to see him rip his side apart.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, and I hope it's sooner.
I hope it's Sunday.
There's every chance it could be in a game like that. He was. I thought he was very, very good, pushing for man of the match, to be honest. But around the house, everyone put in a shift tonight, and I hope that we can look back later in the season at this week as being a turning point for the confidence to start oozing back into the starting side, because it looked devoid for a while. It just looked like they were flat. They were anything but for the last couple of days, for the last 2 games. And tonight, that was as good a performance as you'll see against a live opponent. Let's call it straight. This is a very good side that we've just beaten well. I know the scoreline says 1-0, but Thibaut Courtois is the only reason why it's only 1-0.
I think it's called a 1-0 molding. I think it's how to describe it. Yeah. Right, let's talk about man of the match. Honorable mention, who could do better. Now, who do we go to first? Do we go to Ashley? Do we go to Kev? So the chat could decide that. But but what we can do is don't forget Patreon. There's a QR code in the bottom there. Kev's pointing to it. It's somewhere over there. I think it's over there.
That way.
That way. Mirrors.
It's always the opposite of what I think it's going to be.
Click the QR code. Join our Patreon.
I feel like we're in the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. That's one for the teenagers. So click the QR code. Join our Patreon. It's literally the cost of a pint. And look, we do stuff behind the paywall. So we will be doing probably a rewatch of this with highlights. Because why the fuck not?
You can actually rewatch a game that we won.
It's amazing. We also do a show which I think is going to come out tomorrow, which is Ashley's Baby, which is Ref Watch, where we pick 5 incidences and go through them and video replays, why we think they were given, why we think they're correct or incorrect, or big controversies like that. And then Kev and I just do random shit like drafts and watching old games. I think the plan is over. I think the plan over international break is, I think it was Ashley's idea, is I think we're going to pick some big Liverpool performances. Like Gav wants to look at the 5-0 win over Forest, but actually watch the full game behind the paywall and just talk around it. So it's not quite a watch along because it's not really our thing, but it's a bit of a watch along where you can reminisce. You can watch us batter Barcelona 4-0, or maybe watch us batter Real Madrid again, which is always good. We might do that 4-0. Might show that 4-0 one because that's hilarious with Dosena scores. Right, so Dan's put me first.
You can go first. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
I'll go first because I know what your 2 man of the match is, and it's different.
Yeah, just don't steal mine.
So my man of the match is Szoboszlai. Yeah. It has to be. For me, it's Szoboszlai. I know you two have got a different person, but he's just so key. Another key assist. He's everywhere, and he got. I think now, Kev, he's got the balance right, which I think was always the concern. I think when we saw him play that midfield deeper role against Brighton, with defensively he's not switched on. He's definitely developed that side of his game. Honourable mention. I will go for. I'll be nice. I'll go for Wirtz because actually I think that's the most involved I've seen him in a game where literally, if it wasn't for Courtois, he would definitely have had at least 1 assist today. I thought he plays very well, but you still look at it going, there's more to come. Could do better. Probably the Spanish press. Maybe they should actually start watching other teams and realizing the world does not revolve around Real Madrid. Also, the other person who needs to do better is Vinicius Jr. because I'm not sure how he's going to recover from that broken face from someone's fingernail touching him. Right. Ashley, you go next. I've had me fun.
My man of the match is Bradley. I cannot get away from the fact that he set the tone for the entire team. And he absolutely rose to the occasion. I think he was just immense. And like I said earlier, I don't think you're going to see a better defensive performance against the players that he was up against, to the point where I think they switched Mbappe and Vinicius. They switched sides at one point to try to get a little bit of joy. But just the way that he stood up specifically to Vinicius today. And there's so many great meme material, guys. If you haven't seen it, just go onto your socials. There's so many great freeze frames of Vinicius mid-air or in the back of Bradley's pocket. Or there's one from Domino's Pizza that was this is the face that you make when your mom says that you have to eat frozen pizza instead of Domino's. There's so many good memes. Like, it's absolutely outstanding.
It's generally a toss. It's generally a toss up. Who does better? Who does social media better? Domino's,
Savers,
or Aldi,
or Domino's. Aldi's good too.
Aldi.
I don't even have them in my country, and I still get them. They're great.
Listen, Aldi are so funny because they still wind up Marks and Spencer who tried to sue, and they just said, like, they're just killjoys, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was outstanding. Let's see. I think I'm going to give my honorable mention to Robertson because it's his third game in a week, and I genuinely think that he has steadied the ship. I think Virgil looks so much better with him next to him, and I think we forget a lot of times that Kirkez is younger than Bradley. So when we're criticizing Kirkez, it's not because we think that he's not a good signing or anything like that. I think we have to look at him. I know that he was outstanding at Bournemouth last year, but I genuinely think that we have to look at him in the same context as Conor Bradley, where they're making a step up into a very different, very competitive environment, and they're going to have peaks and troughs. There have been conversations that we've had. Chris, I know you and I have had conversations where it's like Conor Bradley needs to be out of the team. Like, he's the worst player on the pitch. And today was not that day. And I just think that having that level head from Robertson come into the back at this point in the season, we absolutely needed that. And I think that he has just stepped up. And I don't know if he can do another game this week, which worries me because I don't know how I feel about Kirkez starting against City. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
He's got a 5-minute rest. He's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he has been rested, and we know that Robertson, when he's rested, is actually still quite good. I don't think that he's past it. So we'll see what happens. Could do better. I don't know if there is one player that I want to specifically point out about, like, could do better. I can see where Davey's coming from here, where Salah's decision-making is not quite there, but I don't think that it's fair to call him out specifically today just because his performance has been that much better. Regardless of if he's scoring or not, there were games earlier this season where he looked like he was like dragging a 10-pound sack of potatoes behind him.
I actually thought it was a good battle between him and their left backs. Their left back, I thought, is very, very good. I mean, he's keeping Mendy out the side. But there were still times where Salah glided past him, and, to be fair, he did well not to take Salah down for a penalty. And again, Salah, on another day, if it wasn't for that Belgian bloke, he has another assist.
And a goal.
Yeah.
And a goal.
I don't think he was that poor today. I think, especially when you look at, like I said, performances even like from 2 weeks ago, like he looks like he's hungry again. What did Emmett put him in the oxygen tent? Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of these guys, isn't it Jamie Vardy that has an oxygen tent at home? Where he just eats like Skittles and Red Bull and then just lives in a hyperbaric chamber. I'm pretty sure it's Vardy.
Yeah, not a bad life.
No. Kev, what do you want?
I'll go with someone different because the only correct answer is Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley. No, Conor Bradley. The game today hinged on Bradley dominating Vinicius. If Vinicius got ahead of Bradley, got him on an early booking, then it was game over because no one could go anywhere near him, and we would have had to change Bradley and bring on Joe Gomez or drop Szoboszlai back into right back, and it would have been a nightmare. So Conor Bradley is the man of the match, hands down, no question about it. I will go for an honourable mention with Alexis McAllister. I mean,
good shout, yeah.
He was very good.
The goals win games. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a brilliant finish.
Thanks, Michael Owen.
Yeah, it was a brilliant finish from the smallest guy in the pitch, Johnny on the spot again, and defensively he was excellent.
It was very Jota-esque, that header.
Yeah, it was one of those midfield performances that last year we got really accustomed to, we got really used to, and that was his staple performance that we saw virtually, I'd say, for 30 of 38 league games last year. Or, 30 to 34 league games that he played last year. He was today brilliant. Gravenberch as well, to be fair. It's a partnership, really. Could do better. Nah, fucking none of them. They were fucking fantastic. Up the Reds. I'll slate the fuck out of him when they warrant it, but not today.
I'd never noticed, Kev. You're so mild-mannered. No one ever notices.
I'm a nice guy.
He's got a whole brand associated with him when things go bad. So
Christmas is coming. I'm gonna bring a t-shirt out and a mug.
I think we need a t-shirt.
Yeah. No, cool. Seriously. If you're really being nitpicking, Hugo could have maybe affected the game a little bit more. Some of the chances that Courtois made some saves for, they were at him. There were saves you'd expect him, a keeper of his quality, to make. Maybe a bit more precision in some of the finishing, but you're really fucking nitpicking because even the Szoboszlai one, I mean, he went full Peter Schmeichel starfish and got his foot on it. So yeah, it was just one of those nights. Almost everything went Courtois' way. Almost everything. Thank fuck it isn't. Because if it would have been a travesty if that game had finished 0-0.
I thought I had fully jinxed it because I said to you guys ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Chris was like, "What's your score prediction?" I'm like, "It'll be anything except a 0-0."
Yeah.
And then I told him, I was like, "Maybe I've consigned it to a 0-0. I don't know."
I think I'd said to Kevin the week, jokes aside, I said, all these goals would be a shitty 1-0. And I said, only message.
Well,
Santandy, only negative was Endo didn't come on to take out Trent. So that would have been quite safe.
I don't know. We never want to wish ill on a player, but
Yeah. Oh, look, it's the pretendy ref.
There's Carlo.
Hi, Carlo.
Well, Carlo is an actual ref. So, he says, not every handball is a pen, non-deliberate. He doesn't extend or make his body bigger. My biggest point was the shot on target. And
which, to be fair, we all said when we looked like it was going to be Givens and not really sure what the lad can do.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I said it straight away in the chat, even when they were looking at it I don't like seeing those handballs given because it's just not handball. What in the hell is he supposed to do? It was one of them. I just looked at it and I thought, nah.
I never want to see that given against us, which for me is how I kind of judge it.
Exactly. Anyway, let's get to the quotes before
we get to the quotes though. Don't forget our sponsor, NordVPN. Really good internet security. Also really good if you want to watch stuff that's geo-blocked. So if you're a Spanish journalist and you haven't seen Liverpool play very much, if you get a NordVPN, they'll be able to then get Prime and see Liverpool beat them again 1-0 and perhaps learn from it. So anyway, sorry, Ashley, you do let's let Ashley do it.
Sure, throw me the quotes up there and I'll read them out.
All right, here we
go. Go on, Kev. I'll be quiet for a bit.
All right, so there's a few fun facts in here. Conor Bradley made the most recoveries, 7, won 100% of his tackles, 3 out of 3, and completed the most passes into the final third, 10 for Liverpool tonight. Let's see. Liverpool as a team held Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe without a single shot on target between the two of them today, which was just down to basically Conor Bradley. When asked about Trent, Virgil van Dijk said that he does not plan to see him before or after the game. On keeping a clean sheet, this is the quote that I read earlier. He said, "You can see at the moment Arsenal are flying, and it's down to clean sheets, and it's not conceding chances. We have the quality to hurt anyone. It starts with the defending. Today, you saw the hard work. We have to keep going. Sunday is going to be another difficult one. We all know how football works. It can change overnight." On standing up to criticism from pundits, he said, "I am living with the players that might have been affected by it. If you lose a game for Liverpool, 4-5 games, there is criticism. That is normal in a sense, but it's over the top at times. I think it's because of the world that we live in. There's so many platforms, so many people can say stuff, and it can be picked up. Ex-players that have played at the highest level have had difficult moments as well. I want to perform for the team, the club, and everyone who supports us through thick and thin." There's a mad stat in here. I need to verify this, so take this with a grain of salt. Supposedly, since the start of 2022, 23% of the saves that Courtois has made in the Champions League have been against Liverpool, which, if validated, is an insane stat.
He just needs to fuck off.
He just hates us. He just hates us. Or he's just really good against us.
He's just really good.
There was a quote here from Bellingham about Trent. He said, on Anfield, booing Trent, the fans' booing isn't a reflection of what they think about him, more trying to throw him off. I'm sure they're appreciative of what he's done for the club.
I think you should read social media. I think you should read social media, Jude. I think you'll find.
I think that you can understand the earworm that was in Trent's ear right there. He continues, he loves the club a lot, and I know that from speaking to him. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Another fun fact, Real Madrid recorded just 2 shots on target tonight, their fewest in a Champions League game since their 1-0 win over Liverpool in 2022. Also just 2 shots. Let's see what's next. They did not manage a single shot in the second half, and that's the first time that it's happened since the quarterfinals against Manchester City. So we just absolutely shut them down. Courtois conceded with the first shot on target he faced against Marseille in match week 1 of this season's Champions League, but then he made 19 consecutive saves before he was beaten by McAllister's shot today. So that is the only time that he's been beaten since. Courtois was asked after the match about Trent. He said, I hope that the fans can forgive him in the longer term and eventually he can come back and they'll honor him for all of the trophies he won. Couple quotes from Szoboszlai. He says, now I think we're back on a winning track. I agree. I think that's good. Arne Slot on Trent's reception, which is a great answer here. He says, my focus is on the players and those that start for Real Madrid.
One thing I want to mention on this before we go anywhere. Arne Slot has handled that question so well in the pre-match press conference and tonight. You cannot, as a manager, tell supporters what to say, how to support. You can't do it. It's something that so many managers have tried in the past at various clubs. It never turns out well because the first time you try and turn around and tell fans not to boo someone, it becomes a topic and a snowball effect kicks in. You don't want to be on that road. I thought Arne Slot managed that fucking brilliantly. Fair play to him. Anyway, back
I love this little bit of slyness there in there.
Yeah.
Couple facts about Szoboszlai. He was in the 89th percentile for forward passes, progressive passes, and 88th percentile for progressive carries. So just the eye test for you guys, giving him the man of the match was good.
So we'll say man of the match.
Yeah. We talked a little bit last time about Szoboszlai and his running stats, and I just threw this up here because it's interesting to see how much more the team has been running recently. So Wirtz was 11 kilometers. Szoboszlai was 11 kilometers. Ekitike was 10, who came off early. So still 10. Salah was 10, Gravenberch was 10, and Alexis was 9. So they are running a lot more than they were 2-3 weeks ago. So that week off, it has changed things beyond just, the way that we're lining up. I think we talked a little bit about this. Bradley won 100% of his tackles and 8 of his duels against Vinicius Jr. tonight. He lost possession 19 times against Conor Bradley and had 0 shots. And then let's see. These are the Slot quotes. They came out a little bit late, so they're at the end. On Florian Wirtz, he said, he has been so unlucky in his career at Liverpool because even today he has created so many chances for the team. Kev touched on that earlier. On Conor Bradley, he said Conor was outstanding to be up against Vinicius so many times. 1v1 is not for everyone. He did outstanding today.
And that is it.
Was that it? Okay.
That is it.
Yeah, there weren't that many quotes from Slot. He came out late, so everything was pretty much positive.
Do you want to hear another random UEFA rule I've just found out?
Sure.
Existed? So Paul Gorst has tweeted this. There's a UEFA rule that prohibits the same fixture 3 seasons running in the new Champions League format, which will be a welcome break for Real Madrid. So apparently we cannot play Real Madrid in the group stage next year.
Interesting.
Random rule. Because I thought the thing was they wanted to see more Real
Is
Madrid
is that just since the new format was implicated though? So
Or maybe a couple next year. So
again, does that mean we get one more year of them and then we don't get them?
Oh, I don't want another year of Courtois.
I don't know either. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not sure how that works. I've never even heard of that rule.
No. I mean,
but it does seem like we get them every single time. So that would be nice. I would appreciate, someone new. I don't know. Like, who haven't we played in a while?
Juventus.
Well, we'll see them soon enough.
Yeah. So, let's see. So I think that's it, really. Anything for you guys before we go?
No. Look, 2 performances, 2 wins, 2 clean sheets. Yeah, I would have put... I said it last night, and I said it to you guys earlier. If I had to put a bet on before the game tonight with my last 20 quid, I'd have backed Madrid. And I would have.
So Kev's homeless now.
Yeah, but I would have backed Madrid purely and simply. Look at the form they're in. Look at the quality of players they have on the pitch. Look at how they're playing. I look at what they did to Barcelona. Not just the result, but look at what they actually did to Barcelona. They ripped them to shreds. And that's the measure of how fucking good we were. And all the credit to Arne Slot and the players. They were unbelievable. I thought Anfield tonight was electric. And a thoroughly deserved win. Delighted for the lads.
Jolly good. Ash, anything from you before we go?
I mean, I'm just reflecting a little bit on this week. I mean, we talked at the beginning before we even started against Villa. We were like, we have 3 games. It's kind of 3 games to turn the season around. And all of us kind of looked each other in the eye and we were like, get 2 wins and a draw and we'll all kind of shake hands. We're 2 wins there. Like, we're 2 wins through this week of hell. And we saw last season this exact same kind of lineup dictate our season. It turned things around. It kickstarted our season. I did not see either of these performances coming from this team. When we fell out of the cup against Crystal Palace, I genuinely felt, like, oh, jeez, like all hope was lost. It felt really gloom and doom. And how quickly all of that can change over the course of the week. And what we've seen today, what we saw against Villa, they were performances. And that was kind of what we wanted to see. We wanted to see not just a win. We wanted to see a convincing win, a team performance, like something that got us back believing. And I feel like I'm believing again. And it's funny, it just takes 1 week for that to happen. But like, I genuinely feel back on board. And I feel like I can create an argument to say, this team has kind of gone through its slump and they've come out the other side. And City is a very tough opponent. We know that they have a cyborg up front, like all the things. But like, let's just get behind them for this last push before the international break, because genuinely, like, what they've done so far this week was beyond what I thought they were going to be able to do. I really think they've risen to the occasion, and credit to the players and also credit to Slot for doing that. So
yeah.
Listen,
you guys had to put up with me after that bloody cup defeat where I'd already pulled my back out and then had to watch that while I couldn't move. So
yeah, just don't pull your back out celebrating a McAllister goal.
Well, to be honest, that nearly happened. So I'm going to go home and take some painkillers now. But listen, on that happy note, it is finished. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. The Reds are 2 for 2, and then we move on to the Etihad on Sunday. So listen, hit the bell icon, please subscribe, please follow us. We'll have loads of shows coming up between now and Sunday, and then obviously you'll have us 3 lovely people doing the post-match reaction as well. Until then, speak very soon. Take us home, Kev.